broke the cork off. A bourbon steward. It takes me a minute to get some words sometimes. Oh, that's puke. Ugh. Ripping his clothes and gnashing his teeth. Corn whiskey. I still haven't found my first Blanton's. Hey, everybody. It is Thursday at 7 o'clock, and it's time for the Bourbcast, and here we go. This wraps up our series, just a short series. It's kind of a random month, but we did a series, well, we did a fruit-based bourbon, liquor, whiskey, something last week with the Black Cherry from Cleveland Underground, and this time we're finally doing the Crown Blackberry. It is International Whiskey Day, so, you know, this being Canadian, it's an international whiskey, and it cannot be called bourbon, especially with all the different flavorings that are attached to this, but because it's not made in the USA, it cannot be called bourbon. Bourbon must be made in the USA to be able to be called bourbon. Anywhere else in the world, it is whiskey. Now, the thing about this, because it is a Canadian whiskey, the regulations on it are very loose. So this Crown Royal is made up of 50 different whiskeys, essentially. So they take like 50-some different 5 different mash bills. They run it through 12 different stills, and then they blend like the 50 or 50-some barrels together to get Crown Royal. And then with this one, what they do, this is the Blackberry. It's a limited edition for the summer. It came out in the fall, as well as the spring. Let's see. The whiskeys are carefully selected by the master blender and infused with the juicy flavor of fresh blackberries. Now this says juicy flavor of blackberries. It doesn't say actual blackberry juice. The peach uses actual peach juice from Georgia peaches. This doesn't say that. The harmonious notes of this summer fruit complement the signature richness of Crown Royal blended whiskey. That's what they say on their website. This is Crown Royal. It's made at a single distillery in Gimli, Manitoba, Canada. The area was settled by immigrants from Iceland who had had enough of the earthquakes and volcanoes in their homeland. So the word Gimli or Gimli means safe from hellfire. I don't know, I might not mind a little hellfire in my life. But earthquakes and volcanoes is a different story. Crown Royal Company property has a single still house in which more than 1.5 million barrels of whiskey reside at any one time. That's more barrels than the entire population of Manitoba. I don't want to make a mess, so we're going to... It does screw off. I thought it was a cork. It screws off. It's a screw cap. Oh, I can smell that. I haven't even done anything and I can smell that. Very sweet. Okay. I don't think I'm going to want a huge pour of this. I don't do sweet. Even my coffee's not sweet. No, I drink black coffee. As a matter of fact, there's a recipe I found online with coffee and blackberry Crown. I don't like anything messing with my coffee. I don't put cream. I don't put butter. I don't put sugar. I don't put Kahlua. I don't put anything in my coffee. Don't mess with my coffee. I mean, I'm more stringent about my coffee than I am my bourbon. I don't like ice, generally speaking. Water's okay, but I don't mess with my coffee. You're messing with the safety of the world if you mess with my coffee. We're just getting that out there. Crown Royal was made in 1939, and it's a tribute to the King and Queen of England. It was the first time that the couple had ever come to Canada, 1939, and it was not until 1964 that Crown Royal was available outside of Canada. That guy, his name was Samuel Bronfman, tried 600 different blends to please the Queen and King, and this would have been King George VI and Queen Elizabeth, the first reigning monarchs to visit Canada. their territory. They tried 600 different blends and finally found the one, and it's been the same thing ever since. That's 86 years. It hasn't changed in 86 years, which is amazing considering the amount of different types of liquors that go into it. And sometimes you're going to have a high rye, and sometimes you're going to have a high corn, and sometimes it's going to do different things, but they can get away with it because the rules and regulations on Canadian whiskey isn't anything like they are for American whiskey or American bourbon. So, all right, let's give this a try. It even says on the back of the box that it's best in lemonade. Oh, whew. That is very pungent. I mean, it's down, yeah, and I can smell yeah. Okay. It may be a little too much. There are people who call it Robitussin. There are people who call it cough syrup. I haven't gotten that far yet. I don't know if it's that. It's just very, very fragrant. Very, very fruity. Almost overly so. As a matter of fact, no, not almost. It is overly so. It's to the point where it's very difficult to take any nose of it because it's just almost... Sorry, Crown Royal. It's almost nauseating. It's so stinking sweet. And again, I like my wine red. I like my coffee black. I don't do sweet when it comes to my drinks. Whew, boy. Cool. Okay, I can't do that anymore. I'm just going to taste it. Okay, it tastes better than it smells. I'm not getting that sense of cough syrup like a lot of people are talking about online. I was worried about that, and I looked for that. I went into that sip thinking, I'm going to hate this. I'm going to purposely hate this. I don't hate it one bit. I don't love it. It's a flavored whiskey. It doesn't taste like bourbon. It doesn't taste like anything except for what it's meant to taste like, but it's not that bad, really. The nose was tough to get past, but boy, I'll tell you what, it's not bad on the palate at all. That sense of blackberry stays with. It's got just this very, very slight, and this is unfair, it's not, I mean, we're talking, you got to look for it. A little bit of shoe polish. I know, it sounds terrible. I didn't mean it. I mean, it's not fair. It's not fair. But Nathan's watching. And Michael's watching. Hey, how are you guys? We're doing the Crown Blackberry. We just got into it. The nose is overwhelming. It's too much to nose. Too much. The palate, it delivers on what it's supposed to deliver on. It isn't horrible. I'm going to take another sip of this. I'm going to put it on water. Okay, I can understand why people would say it tastes like cough medicine. But to me, it doesn't. I can see why they would say that. I've never had blackberry cough medicine. It's always like black cherry or something like that, and I don't like it. And I have had whiskey that tastes like cough medicine. I don't think this one does. Really isn't bad. It isn't as bad as I expected it to be. Could it have been maybe just a skosh less blackberry? Nah, probably. But for what it's meant to do, it doesn't taste too bad, honestly. And it's meant to go in cocktails. The internet has spoken. The internet says it's supposed to go in cocktails. Let's just read some of this here. All right, so one person said, added a shot to a strong Americano coffee, no milk, and this whiskey muted the bitterness of the coffee provided and brought on a slight, sweet blackberry jam flavor. I'm not a whiskey and coffee gal, but my husband loved it, so if that's your vibe, you'll enjoy it as well. Don't touch my coffee. In a cocktail, we kept it simple and followed the lemonade recipe on the back of the box. It does have a lemonade recipe on the back of the box. Now this seems a bit much to me. It says to use 1.5 ounces of Crown Royal and 6 ounces of lemonade. That seems like a lot. That's like half a can, isn't it? So, but that's what they said on here. We use Newman's Own light lemonade and garnish with blackberries as well as a lemon wedge. They put time into it. This cocktail is refreshing with the right amount of sweetness from the whiskey. There is the perfect balance of sourness from the lemonade and the sweetness of the blackberry jam. Somebody also suggested watermelon juice and Sprite. I have done watermelon juice and vodka, and I really enjoyed it, actually. I mean, you have a watermelon, you cut it up, there's juice left over. You put it in the thingy to hold on to it, put it in the refrigerator, and then there's juice like the next day. Especially as it sits, more and more juice falls out of the watermelon. That's actually really good with vodka if you like vodka, and I do. I like vodka. Somebody else suggested, now I can see where somebody would want to do this, to mix it with Screwball or some other peanut butter whiskey. That's a possibility. Did I? No, I didn't. We're going to put this on water. I don't expect it to do anything. It's 70 proof. These flavored Crowns are only 70 proof, so I don't expect this to change a darn thing. We're going to put in 4 drops. Then we're going to experiment with some mixers. Now it tastes like cough syrup. Yeah, you just lighten it up, the flavor just a little bit. Now I know why they didn't put less blackberry in it, because it's actually less enjoyable once it's been watered down some. I actually preferred it neat, which is not unusual for me, but for something like this, you never know what to expect. Yeah, okay. All right, so let's have a little fun. Something they did talk about too is a blackberry whiskey sour. We're going to play with that. We're going to do just a little bit of that. Their whiskey sour recipe is not what other people would call a whiskey sour. There's no shaking. There's no egg white or garbanzo bean goo. There's none of that in there. But we're going to play with it a little bit. So I've got leftover ice spheres from drinks that we've done in the past. And I'm just going to use, I'm not going to use this big one. I'll use some of the smaller ones. All right, good enough. All right, so we'll start off with what the obvious is. And that is 7-Up. And brought a jigger down. It's gonna have some fun with this. It's 70 proof. It's not gonna waste me out. I know there are people that it would. All right. Spoon. I had this upstairs. My daughter and her boyfriend are cooking dinner. And I went up to him and I went, "Spoon!" And he jumped. I don't think he trusts me yet. They've been together over a year and he doesn't trust me yet. He thinks I'm going to mess with him. I've never touched the man. Yet. All right. So this is the Crown Blackberry with a little 7-Up. That's good. I can drink that. That's actually pretty tasty. Okay, there's one down. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to be wasting a lot of soda pop tonight. Or, I don't know if this is called soda. Is it soda? Is this soda? Is 7-Up soda? It says soda, flavored soda, so yeah. Okay. Number 2. Trish is watching, and Larry's watching, and Chris is watching. I'm sorry I missed y'all. We're doing the Crown Blackberry. And it wasn't bad. It was horrible on the nose. But neat. It didn't make me want to kill myself. Which I had heard so many bad things. But you know, people can be hypercritical. There are just people that can be negative about anything. And I'm not negative about a lot of anything anymore. I've gotten to the point now in my life where I try to look at everything positively. At least as best I can. Because, you know, leave your negativity behind. Alright, so Crown Blackberry. Just tuned in, ginger ale is better. Well, it just so happens that that's next. This is a ginger ale. Just jump right ahead there. So this is Canada. This is my favorite ginger ale. I love Canada Dry. It's not too sweet. That's look it up. Google it. You'll find out the old jingle for Canada Dry. Okay. All right. So. All right, the blackberry with little ginger ale. Also really good. I don't know that I prefer one over the other, but they're both quite nice. If you're looking for a nice summertime drink, it's actually kind of refreshing. And the blackberry flavor holds up. It doesn't fly away. It's in with everything else, but it's actually pretty good. Okay. So that's 2 down. Let's see what else we got. Like it, but really prefer it with lemonade. Well, we got a group of people that are jumping ahead. All right. This one I'll use this larger ice sphere on because it's in my way. That's funny. Well, I like it in ginger ale. Okay. Well, I like it in lemonade. Well, okay. Again, the recipe calls for 6 ounces of lemonade, and I'm not doing that. I want to be able to taste what's in here. And I'm only doing, I think, 1.5 ounces. Yeah, 1.5 ounces of Crown. Chris says the Bird Dog Blackberry is not too terrible either. I said a good lemonade. All right. I don't drink a lot of lemonade, Chris. I really don't. I like lemonade, but I don't drink it very often. I don't know. Just if I am in the mood to relax and have a non-alcoholic beverage, it's almost always ginger ale. Almost always. Or iced tea. This might be good in iced tea. I should have thought about that. That would have been tasty, maybe. Maybe. Worth a shot. All right. So this has got the Crown in it already. Now I'm going to add, about as much lemonade as I did to everything else. Right about there. And this one will give a good stir too. And then I've got one more that I want to do, and I really don't have any more glasses, so I'm going to have to do something about that. Okay. All these are good. It really adds a nice thing to 7-Up, ginger ale, lemonade, all of it. LOL. I just don't drink much lemonade. I like my fresh made lemonade. If I'm going to make it, I'll make it myself. Just like iced tea. I love making my own iced tea. Like sun tea. Remember Lipton was doing sun tea? I like to do it with like leaf tea. Okay, so I got to figure out what I'm going to do here. I think we'll finish up the 7-Up one. It's actually really good. I don't drink a lot of 7-Up. I had it in the house for my mom because she liked to mix 7-Up with her whiskey. She liked Black Velvet a lot, so she'd mix 7-Up with her Black Velvet. Well, now I've got all the 7-Up and she's not around anymore. Passed away in December. So I have to figure out a way to drink all this 7-Up. I've got a considerable amount of it. Like, I drink maybe, gosh, 8 ginger ales a year. Maybe 1 7-Up every 2 years. I don't drink a lot of soda pop. I don't like the sugar. I'll drink. Yeah, that's about right. It's about right. I don't do a lot. I don't drink hardly any colored soda. I don't do Coke. I don't do Pepsi anymore. I don't do any of that stuff. Mountain Dew. No. No. Lemonade. If I mix it with iced tea, a little more often. But let me finish this up. Okay, so the recipe that somebody put for a whiskey sour, we'll do this real quick. 2.5 ounces. This is a little bit more than I expected. So 2, that's 1.5. And I'll just go a little bit shy of that. Right there. That might be a little bit more. That's my go-to, if not in the mood, to make up a good lemonade. Yeah. My kids, well, my son loves a good Arnold Palmer, and I guess I do too. Because again, lemonade just a little too sweet, and I think when I drink lemonade, I actually get thirstier. It's kind of like what they do with Pepsi and Coke and all that stuff. There's enough sodium in that stuff that as you drink it, you get even thirstier as you drink it, and it's supposed to quench your thirst, and it doesn't. It just makes you want more and more and more. So when you stop drinking that and you go to water, like I do probably 98% of the time, changes everything. I mean, I can drink a half gallon of water every day now. I love it. All right, so we're going to do a little lemon. Oh, yeah, we got it. Oh, I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to open that. That stuff gets stuck. All right, so it's 1 ounce of lemon juice. What's this bottom one? Is it 3/4? Yeah, it's 3/4. So we'll just do this. This is a generous drink, I'm telling you. It's about 1 ounce right there. And then 1 ounce of simple syrup. Made it especially for you. Especially for you. It's all for you. All right. That's what I was looking for. So this is their version. Whoever posted this, it was on Reddit. Their version of a whiskey sour with Crown Blackberry. Again, I think I would have done a little bit differently by adding in the egg white, because I like that. But all right, here we go. This whiskey sour. That's sour. I don't think I like it as much as I like the other things. Nope, not a fan. I would have liked to have made this the way you make a whiskey sour, personally. But that's just my taste. Chris is talking. This might go. Oh, you already said that. Mood to make up a good. Yeah, we're good. All right. So is this horrible? No, it isn't. Is it something you want to pick up? Yeah, I think it is. I think it's something you're gonna want to grab. If nothing else, you can have something, you're out doing stuff. Summertime, you're laying out on the back porch, or you're sitting on your chaise lounge, or you're, I don't know, on a pontoon, or just whatever you happen to do to relax, fishing. During the summertime, the warm spring, summertime, I think this could fit the bill. On water? No. Neat? Okay. Don't know why. If you're gonna do it neat, okay. I think it's better off in a cocktail. I think it's what it's meant for. It'll really complement your cocktails well. So, all right, I've got a lot to drink here. I've got a lot to drink. But it's only 70 proof, so it won't do me in. But what I'm going to do is talk about what's coming up next week. And it's been a while, and I've been wanting to do this. But I've got a bunch. Oh, we'll do this one. We'll do this one. So, there was one that I was looking for some time, and it wasn't around. I had looked for it in Ohio. I had looked for it in Kentucky, and just could not be found. Well, finally, I found it less than 5 miles from my home. Early Times Bottled in Bond. I had been looking for this thing. The only thing I could find was the 80 proof, and it was fine. It was okay for what it was. But this is the Early Times Bottled in Bond. I had been wanting this bottle. I've been searching for this bottle, and now I have it. So this is the one we're going to do next week. I want to make sure I can... Yeah. Okay. Yes, I have the right bottle. I got a chance to talk at I visited a school this week, and they were doing all this stuff to, talk about inclusivity and whatever of disabled kids, right? And they got into this. I got into this one room, and they were talking about dyslexia. Well, you may not know it by looking at me because I look so perfect. So flawless, but I'm dyslexic, and I'm quite dyslexic, and different areas of being mild on the spectrum of dyslexia, but it's affected me my entire life. They didn't do any major studies in dyslexia until the 80s. By then I was ready to graduate high school, so I got a chance to go talk to a group of students. And it was inspiring. I had one kid in the front, little girl, I'd say no more older than maybe 6th grade, who, when I told her what all I do for a living and what, she turned around and she looked at me like, really? It's like, yeah. And then later on I got to talk to her, and I found out how much she struggles with her dyslexia, and I got into contact with the school, and I said, here's what I think you ought to do. And we'll see where it goes from there, but I just wanted to tell you that. It was a point in my week that was an up point, right? You look for those. You say, yes. So that was fun. Anyway, I don't know why I went into that. But Early Times is going to be next week. The Bottled in Bond, I've been looking for it, even though the letters come up jumbled up. Get back to it. So we'll do that. This month, April, this is the last one of March. April is going to see us do a couple different things. I've got a guest that I think is going to come. I've got to solidify that appointment. And then I think we are going to go on the road. I contacted somebody yesterday. They're very interested in having us do a Bourbcast from their location, and I'm stoked. It'll be the first time we've had a chance to do that. We're going to do that next month. But right now, we're going to kick it off with Early Times Bottled in Bond, and then the sky is the limit. We continue to grow. I'm appreciative of that. Share this if you want to. If you don't want to, that's okay. We'll keep it amongst ourselves. It's okay. But the likes and the shares keep going up here and on YouTube. We continue to spread the word, and I'm grateful. You could be anywhere else. You could be doing anything else, and you're here with me right now. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything, because I tend to do that. Chris is watching. Hey, Chris. How are you? Another Chris. Different Chris. We have multiple Chris's. I was telling somebody today that I remember when I was in kindergarten, there were 2 girls by the name of Melissa. And I was like, wait a minute. You're both Melissa? What? It's like, when you're like 5, you think that only one person can have only one name. And I was the only one with my name. That's the way it works. All right, thank you so much for hanging out with me. We'll see you next week for the Early Times Bottled in Bond. I'm so much looking forward to this. I can't wait. I've been looking for this thing. So we will see you then. And hey, have a great what's left of your week and your weekend, and we'll see you in a week.